Alright, so this is a battle from a Skaven campaign me and my roommates are currently playing. So what happened in this battle is that we were sending our main army to try to capture the main human settlement. And we were sending it through the underground way system. But unfortunately, what ended up happening is the army was supposed to wait for reinforcements. But instead, the human armies ambushed us. And the city that we were going to attack sent over the main army and the garrison. Alright, wait 1 second, I think the sound is a bit loud. Let me just lower everything. Alright, I think that's better. So they sent over their main army and the city garrisons. And you can see them right here. And the balance of forces does not look good for brave but evil Redmen. So we have about 1,000 troops to 2,100 of the enemy. So they outnumber us more than one. So our brave red heroes are facing this gigantic human swarm of crossbowmen, swordmen, and pikemen. And they have about 3 heroes with the army, where we only have 2. So pretty scary. Alright, so to meet this, we've set our army in a pretty good defensive formation, although we don't really have a big terrain advantage. So here we have our clan rats with shields. Here they are, making up our front line. On the flanks, we have these rattling gun weapon crews. Now the reason we place them on the flanks is because we don't think they can fire over our own units. So I feel this is the best position for them. As our second line, we have more of our shooting units. So we have these Warpog Giselles, which are very long range, and we usually use to target enemy heroes. And then alternating them, we have these Warp Fire Throwers. So they're kind of like magical flamethrowers. They're very good at taking out hordes of enemy units, and they can fire over our own units. They do a lot of damage to our own units in the process, but we're Skaven, we're evil, we don't really care. And finally, at the end, we have these Plague Claw catapults, which will do a lot of damage. Now, I don't think this army... Oh, sorry, one more thing. And then on the flanks, we have Red Ogres. They're pretty cool and are kind of like the cavalry. So, I don't think this army can take care of the human horde by itself. Like, look at it, it's just massive and huge. But we have a secret weapon. And our secret weapon is the Doomsday Rocket, which is basically like a magical nuclear weapon. So me and my roommate kind of had a council of war, and the way we decided to use it was this. We're gonna wait until the enemy crossbowmen are at range. Once we're in range, we're gonna have a unit of clan rat pop up in their center. And you can do this as kind of like a cool Skaven ability. Once they pop up in the center, they're going to tie up enemy crossbowmen, enemy melee units, and the 3 enemy heroes. Once those units are tied up, we're going to nuke them. So we're going to take out a bunch of melee units and a bunch of crossbowmen and a bunch of heroes. And then, right after the nuke, our brave rats are going to charge the enemy. And the reason we want to charge them is because we want to get as close to the crossbowman as possible. It will also look super cool, but the nuke also does area and effect damage over time, and we want to get them constrained in that nuke area. So here's the human horde marching forth. And there's our brave rat heroes. Well, not brave. So Skaven are kind of pretty evil, pretty sneaky. They're very backstabby with each other. A Skaven will always take credit for all the accomplishments of his underlings, but if something goes wrong, he will blame everyone but himself. So here's a Plague Claw catapults launching. They're gonna do a lot of damage. Oh, Look at them just destroying the human formations. So once we start combat, our Plague Claw catapults and a lot of our long-range units are going to start targeting their crossbowmen. So some of the shots are firing to the center. It's not what we should be doing because the center is just going to get nuked. We should be targeting more to the sides. But you know, we tried to play this at full speed for the more cinematics. Right? And soon our rat unit is going to pop up. Now Skaven are pretty cowardly, but this brave unit is just going to sacrifice themselves. Well, any second now, it's going to pop right up. Oh, there it is. Now, unfortunately, not all the heroes stop to take this unit, but we do get a couple of archers. And here's the nuke that's going to come right there. We kind of overshoot the nuke. Boom. And right on that signal, our brave rat warriors start charging. There's our rat ogres charging. Well, but look at the destruction. It's just... So our main plan didn't work up here, keeping them hidden in this area, but what can you do? You learn from next time. And here's a massive charge. And here's our rat units. The Black Cloud catapults are taking care of these crossbowmen. They're gonna stop firing when the rat ogres get in there. And they're pretty fast, they're catching up to them too. Right, so what's going on in the rest of the battlefield? So here we kind of made a mistake. So the rattling guns are positioned way too close to the swordsmen, and they're going to be kind of engaged to them in melee. And then these warfire throwers aren't doing much. Then we have a bunch of battles that we're losing. So even though we nuked a lot of the force, we're still suffering. The next kind of mistake that we're making is our heroes, we want them to engage their heroes, but this is a melee hero and he's kind of just firing on other units. Not the best. Also, the warfire throwers were mispositioned, and again, we're targeting the enemy heroes when they should be targeting the massive enemy units. So what happened here is we realized that our rattling gun team is in trouble, so our warfire throwers and our long-range Jezzails, I believe they're called, are now targeting these swordsmen to help them out, and to free them up. And look, the warfire throwers just completely slaughter everything. It's good to be evil. So what's going on here? And again, we're just losing. Oh, we position our rattling gunners pretty well to flank them. So their morale is going to break. So even though we're losing the melee battles, you can see that their archers crossbowmen have been pretty badly damaged. So we have unit of flat rants that we've been spawning on the crossbowmen. Our rat ogres are completely slaughtering them on here. They completely slaughtered them here. Once their heroes, I believe, are going to start break, they're just going to start retreating. More warfire throwers. This is one of my favorite units in the game. And yeah, and even though we were outnumbered 2-1 against a massive human horde, now they're retreating and now it's just mop-up operations. You can see that from there the warfire throwers also do a lot of friendly damage. And that's how, and this is a battle for the legends where outnumbered evil rat heroes slaughter the human horde. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings, but in reverse. Right. Thank you for watching.